Hello and welcome back to Simply Nihongo. This is chapter 2 of our playthrough of the Famicom Detective Club, the Missing Heir. We just arrived at the station and now we're talking to the attendant again. Let's see, is there anything we can ask him about?
いきなりそう言われましても。
Okay, that's nothing new. Does he know anything about Akira?
聞かない名前ですね。
Okay, so here, kikanai means to not hear. So kikanai, you can say, is negative form of kiku. And namai is name.
もちろん知っていますよ。恐ろしい言い伝えです。
Okay, so nothing new about the legend. And then it's asked about the family.
場所はもう教えてあげたではありませんか。
Okay, nothing new. Alright, so if he has nothing new, how about we call the other guy?
何か用かの。
How about, does he know about Akira?
アキラ？誰じゃそりゃ。時々柄の悪そうな男が来とったようじゃが、そいつかの。
Okay, so we have this gara. Let's see what gara means. Okay, so gara ga warui is ill-bred, vulgar, or boorish. Alright, so some vulgar guy comes sometimes, so tokidoki is sometimes.
Subete wa mangetsu no yoru ni wakaru da.
Subete wa mangetsu no yoru ni wakaru. So I guess we will understand everything on the night of a full moon. So Mangetsu would be a full moon. This man you see a lot when it comes to things being filled. So man-in is like full occupancy. Manzoku is satisfied, or rather you are filled, had enough.
満月の夜。
そうだって、満月の夜だ。
Can we ask more about it?
全ては満月の夜にわかるだ。
Okay, nothing new there. Then says,
全ては満月の夜にわかるだ。綾代家については昔っからあまりいい話は聞かんねえ。菊さんの旦那は昔かなり悪どいことをやっていたそうだで。
okay, nothing
恨み
new
に
there
思ってい
either.
る人も少なくねえだろう。自殺した家族の話を聞いたことがあるだよ。
Okay, so the husband must have done some bad stuff, or he heard that. People have grudges. Some family committed suicide. Is a story he heard. Okay, nothing new there. Alright. How about if we do omoidasu? Nothing. Okay. Let's move. Ayashiro, okay.
おはようございます。
おはようございます。今に幹事様がお見えです。ご紹介をいたしますので、どうぞ。
He didn't really sound so excited to see us. Kind of sounded sad. I'm not sure if that's something to pay attention to or something unrelated. Okay. So Ima is the living room. You may also hear some people just call it like living room, but Ima is phrase for that as well. Kanji is the older brother. So he will introduce us to Kanji-san.
綾代寛治さん。キクさんの甥だったな。
So Kiku's nephew. Can we ask anything?
前にお話ししたことぐらいで。
It's only about as much as what we talked before. So this Gudai is kind of like about roughly. How about here?
今に寛治様がお見えです。
Okay. Alright, let's go.
それではご案内いたします。寛治様、失礼いたします。探偵の方がいらっしゃいました。
Okay, so he's talking to Kanji-san, so he's saying "Shitsurei itashimasu," so excuse us. And then he introduced us. Interesting thing, look at that picture. That picture looks just like the beach we were at. I wonder if that's related somehow.
ゆっくりくつろいでおったのに、一体何の用かね。
くつろいで。Okay, let's see what we can search for that. くつろいで。Was it ろいでor ろいで？ろいで。Let's see what we got here. Relax. Okay. So Kusurogu would be to relax, to feel at home. So I guess he's just sat down to relax. Okay, what on earth do you want?
はじめまして。お邪魔してしまい申し訳ありません。手短に済ませますので、少しお話を伺わせてください。
Okay. So, first time meeting, and then we are kind of in the way of them, and sorry for that. Te mijika. Okay, let's see. We have te and short, so what does that mean? Te mijika. Short. Okay, so try to make it brief. Skoshi o hanashi o kai, so and we talk a little bit.
まあよかろう。ここで拒んであることないこと言われてはかなわん。
Okay, so yokaro I guess is like okay, fine. At least that's the image that I get from there. Kobande, so maybe kobamu? Is that the right kanji? Okay. Recline, okay. ここであることないこと言われてSo I guess he's saying if he declines あることないこと Let's see if that's a phrase. あることないこと It sounds like a phrase. Mixture of fact and fiction. Okay. Let's say So I think he's saying that if he denies, then there would be a mix-up of truth and fiction. Alright. So I guess he just wants to make sure facts are got straight. Alright. Toru, we don't Toru, but let's just look around. I want to look at this picture.
どこかの崖の絵みたいだ。
I guess maybe you wouldn't recognize it if you don't see it from the certain angle. Okay, but he just says like it's some cliff.
電話だ。必要な時は借りることにしよう。
Okay, so it's a phone. Hitsuyo is needed. Time would be toki. So when I need it, kariru is to borrow. And so I will borrow it when it's needed. Memo and pen.
メモと鉛筆などが用意されている。電話をしながらメモを取るためのものだ。
So memo is the notepad, enpitsu is pencils, and nado would be like such as yoi sareteiru, so prepared. Yoi would be like, to prepare. Denwa shi nagara, so she is just suru, but shi nagara is while on the phone. Memo toru, so take a memo. Okay, we have the drawers here.
勝手に調べるのはやめておこう。
Kateni is selfishly. Shiraberu no wa. Also, best not to do that. Shashin.
写真が飾られている。
So a picture is displayed. Sofa.
重厚感のあるソファーだ。
Jukokan. Is that like... Let's see if we can guess the meaning. So here we have Ju. This looks like weight, so omoi. This coal is... I think this is... Is this the one for pressure? I think this is the one for pressure. And Kan is feeling. So... It almost sounds like imposing. Let's see if that's correct. Jukokan. Let's just search for Juko then. Profound, deep, grave, substantial, massive. So yeah, I think we got pretty close to the meaning there. So again, this first kanji is used for heavy, and the second one is used for pressure. Table.
灰皿が置かれている。
So Haizara would be an ashtray, so this hai is for ash. You will see it also for hairo, so ash colored being gray.
灰皿はきれいに磨かれている。
So the ashtray is cleanly polished. Guess that means no one has truly been smoking here. How about the mud?
大きな窓から広い庭が見えている。
It says we can see a big garden. Doesn't look like it from here. Curtain.
カーテンは少し古ぼけている。
Furuboketeru, does that mean worn out? Maybe bokeru? Furubokeru, looks old. Become time worn? Okay.
What なんでございましょう。
なんだね。さっさと済ませてくれ。
I think Sasato is like quickly, basically get on with it. Alright, let's talk.
急なことで驚いたよ。 まだ会長として頑張ってほしかったのだが。
Okay, so asking about Kiku, he says Kyu Nakoto, so suddenly thing. Odoroita was surprised. Mada is still Kaicho toshite, so as the Kaicho. Ganbatte hoshikatta no ga, so I guess he wanted her to still operate as the Kaicho.
ぶしつけですが、遺言書の内容を教えていただけませんか？
Bushitsuke. I wonder what that means. Bushitsuke. Impolite. Okay, impudent, blunt. Okay, I think blunt is a little bit there. Or. Okay. Yuigon sho no nayo, so the contents of the will. Oshiete itadakimasen ka? So, will you, or can I receive you telling me about the contents of the will?
そう来ると思っとったよ。
So I guess he's just saying, he's like, I thought he would say that.
遺言公開の時に取ったメモがある。まあ見たまえ。
Oh, that's nice. So when they had the reading of the will, he took a memo. And then he says, you can see it.
では、拝見します。
I can shimasu. So I think this is kind of like a humble way of saying, I will see or check. So we're again raising his status.
メモは綾代商事のことと菊さんの個人財産について書かれている。
Memo wa, so about the corporation no koto. Shoji? Okay. Let's see. So let's just get things up. Shoji. Commercial affairs, okay. Kojin Sai-san. Individual, private, okay. Sai-san, property, assets, okay. Isuite. So it's about her private assets. So about the commercial affairs of Ayashiro and Kiku's personal assets.
綾代商事の会長として菊が持っていたすべての権利は
So for the commercial affairs of Ayashiro and Kaicho toshite Kiku ga motte. So we want Kenri. Rights. Okay.
綾代家の正当なる後継者の印を持つ綾代ゆりに譲られるものとする。
Okay, so Ayashiro Yuri ni yuzurareru mono to suru. So I think this is saying she's handing over everything to this Ayashiro Yuri. What are we talking about? Seito. So this one? Okay. Legitimate Orthodox tradition. Okay. Kokeisha. Successor. No shirushi, so that would be the seal or mark. So the person who holds the seal of succession. Legitimate succession, I guess. It would be Ayashiro Yuri.
綾代ゆり菊の個人財産は半分をゆりに残りの半分を 幹事、次郎、あずさの3名で公平に分配すべし。
Okay, so she's giving half of the private assets to Yuri, and the rest, the other half, is to be divided equally. So bunbai, and then kohei ni is like fairly distributed between the 3 nieces and nephews.
綾代商事の権利すべて、それに財産の半分を譲られるほどの人物。
Okay, so it looks like the company stuff or the commercial affairs all go to Yuri, and then the private assets will be distributed.
綾代ゆりとは何者なんだ。それに後継者の印というのも初耳だな。
So Hatsumimi would be first time hearing, so first ear. First time hearing it? Okay. So Nanimono would be like, who is that? Okay. Alright, we have a lot to ask. Oh, which one do we want to ask about first? Okay, let's just ask about Yuri.
ゆりさんというのは誰なんです？
So who is Yuri?
会長の一人娘だ。20年前家を飛び出したまま行方不明だ。
That's a very interesting thing. Okay, so it's Kiku's only daughter. 20 years ago, Io tobidashita, so she basically ran away from home. And this mama is just saying, like, as she left from home, so it's been in that state ever since. Yukui fume, so whereabouts unknown. This 20 years I find interesting. Because if we look at the Techo, there's been one relationship I thought has been weird for a time, and that is... Here, Akane. Akane is 19 years old, and yet she is the housekeeper? So I'm actually curious if she is related to Yuri somehow. We'll see. We'll see if that theory comes back later. I haven't played really much further than this conversation before, but it'll be interesting to see if that's the case. Yuri's either related to Akane, or maybe someone else we haven't met. Also, I'm curious, where is... Akira's 23... Amachi's 38. 20 years ago, 18. I wonder if he's related to this as well. Where is Yuri? We do not know how old Yuri is. Right? Let's see.
キクさんには娘がいたのか。しかし行方不明とは。
Is that the missing heir of the story? Kiku-san no musume. So she had a daughter. However, her whereabouts is unknown. Okay, what's the shirushi about?
後継者の印って何なのですか？
どんなものかは知らんが、綾代家の先代の実の子供や孫といった本家筋の人間だけが手にできるそうだ。
So, どんなもの? So what kind of thing? Shiran ga, so I do not know. Shiran is a way of saying shiranai. This is another negative word, I guess. I think the actual word is new, but when you pronounce it, it's going to be so in classical, you might see it as new. That's my understanding. And then Ayashiro no Sendai, so that looks like prior generation, prior age. Previous generation, okay. no jitsu, so real kodomo ya, mago. So kodomo is children, mago is grandchildren. You can kind of see there's this child here in the mago, and then there's this kanji for line. What's this like hat thing? I'm not sure what the hat thing does yet. Okay. Toita Onke Tsuji. So that's probably the main family branch. I think that Tsuji is like tendon or muscle, if I'm correct. Muscle, tendon. Okay, so it would basically be the main family. Ningen dake ga te ni dekiru sou. So apparently this is, I guess, something that only people of the main family can get their hands on, if I understand correctly.
わしら分家筋の人間には縁のない代物だよ。
Okay, so we are, I guess, from extended family. So this boon, I guess, is commenting about it's like separated. You can probably just confirm that. Boon ke Suji. Branch family. Okay. N. So what's that N? Fate, destiny. Okay, mysterious. Family ties, opportunity, affinity. Not sure which one we want. Nai Shiro Mono. Okay. Shiro. Article goods. Fair. So maybe it's like an article of goods that is not fated to them? Something like that?
そうなれば古くから屋敷にいる善蔵さんでも知らないか。
So if that's the case, furuku kara, so from old yashiki ni iru, so the person who's been in the mansion for long would be Zenzo-san. Demo shiranai. So even Zenzo-san who's been here for a long time, he may not know.
ただし正当な後継者が現れなかった場合、
Tadashi. However, okay. We have a lot of words for but and however. Say told so in the case that this person does not appear, so if in the case that the rightful successor does not appear,
綾代商事はわしら親族の手によって運営していくことになる。当然だな。
Okay, so the Ayashiro family affairs, us, Shinzoku, I think this is kind of like family. Te niyotte un-e. So, when has a kanji for hakobu, like carry, and this A you see in operation, so I think this is like basically they will take over the operations. Management and administration. So yeah, pretty much that. Shite yuku naru, and then Tozen, like that's natural. Okay. Alright, so let's ask about that. What's that? Let's ask about Akira.
わしの息子だが、 23にもなって仕事もせずにフラフラしよって。
So my son, even though he is 23, so he's become, even this mo is like even though sort of thing, like even 23, natte became 23. Shigoto mo says you, so without work, and fura fura. What's the good word? Yeah, let's just look it up. Fura. Unsteadily, waywardly. Okay, so this is the one we want. Aimlessly. Without thinking.
遺言公開の日、アキラさんも来ておられたそうですが。
So on that day, it seems like Akira has come.
何？わしは知らんぞ。第一、アキラは遺言公開のことなど知らんはずだ。
Okay, so what? I did not know that. Daiichi. So first thing, Akira wa, like first of all, he would not have expected him to know about it. So this Hazuda is to expect. Shiran, so did not expect him to know about the will.
アキラさんは時々キクさんの部屋に出入りはしていたらしいが、たまたまなんだろうか。
Tamatama. What's tamatama? So we're saying Akira sometimes went in and out of Kiku's room. So tamatama. By chance? Accidentally? So was it just an accident or a coincidence? I'm not sure if we're saying that it's a coincidence that Akira just is going there at that time, or if it's a coincidence that he knew about it because he was going in and out. I'm not sure which meaning we're saying here. Probably the first. Let's talk about Jirou.
わしの弟だ。まあそうだな。わしの右腕としてよく働いてくれているよ。
So my little brother. Yeah, something like that. Like that. There's more like washi no migi ude, so my right arm. And yoku, so well, hataraku kureteru. So he works really well as his right arm.
わしと二郎さえいれば、綾代商事は安泰だ。
So if only me and Jirou are there, the Ayashiro Shoji would be, I guess, in safe hands on Tai. Secure, stable. Okay.
ひどい借金で随分金に困っているようだ。
Okay, so we're talking about Azusa, his sister. So he always like kind of like extremely bad. He's always generally about bad things from what I hear. Shakin. Okay, so even if you don't know the word, you've seen this one here for kariru, and king is money, so shakin is debt. De, zuibun, kane ni, so komatteiru yoda. So kind of like zuibun is like very much completely in trouble with money.
もともとここの遺産を当てにしとった上に、会長やわしにまで借金をしとる。バカなやつだ。
Okay, so moto. It's probably this. Originally from the beginning. And the worst. Kokonoi-san. Let's see what Isan is. inheritance. Atte ni shita toi yoi ni kaichou ya washi ni made shakin o shitoru. So I think this is basically saying she has tried to borrow money from, let's see, from Kanji and from Kiku. And he basically calls her stupid. Or a fool, I guess is a better way of saying.
20年前に行方不明にな。
Alright. 気づいたこと。
他にキクさんに関して何か気づいたことはありませんか？
So 他に would be other, any other, basically. に関して is related to キクさん。何か気づいたことはありませんか？ Anything you've noticed?
何もない。前蔵は妙に勘ぐっているようだが、会長は病死だと医者も断定している。
Okay, so nothing. Nah. Nanimo is nothing. Nah, so nothing at all. Senso wa myou ni, so thought it's strange, kangute iru youdaga. I think the kangu was just kind of like suspicious. Kaichou wa byoshi da to issha wa dante shiteru. So again, Dante was kind of like the decision, or what was the phrase? Can't remember. But anyway, it's been determined already that she just died of illness.
だというのに、仕事とはいえ、君もこんな村までご苦労なことだな。
Okay, so despite that, Shigoto wa kimi mo konna mura made. So kind of like even we were brought as far as this village, and I guess this Kuro was kind of like suffered. So because of that, because of I guess Zenzo's suspicions, he has caused you trouble having you come all the way here. I think that's what he says.
君もだろうが、わしも忙しいのだ。会長が亡くなってしまった分、会社を切り盛りせねばならん。
Okay, so probably even you, but I am busy. Like, so kind of like we're both busy. And then Kaicho got, so because Kaicho is dead, he has to do her work. And then Kaicho Kirimori, I think it's basically saying like the work doesn't stop. Kirimori. Management. Okay. So Kirimori is management. Senaba Nara. Okay.
Ayashiro商事はわしに、いや、
So we...
会社のことはわしと次郎に任せておけばいいんだ。
Okay, so he's saying leave the company and management to him and Jirou. Alright, I think we've asked everything we can. Alright, so let's call... Can we call Yuri? Let's see.
ここにいるわけが。
Okay, so there's no reason for her to be here.
Hi. どういったご用でしょうか?
Actually, can we call Akira?
アキラ様はいらっしゃいませんが。
Okay, so he's not here. Okay. Let's ask about Yuri then.
キクさんにはお嬢さんがいたんですね。
はい。まさかユリ様のお名前がキク様の遺言書に書かれていたとは。
So I guess he's surprised that Yuri is written in the will as well.
ゆり様は大変美しく心の優しい方でした。
So Yuri is described as very beautiful and kokoro yasashi, very kind heart. And again, this kata is referring to the person, so described as very beautiful and kind-hearted.
ある事情でこの家を出られたまま、今ではどこにいらっしゃるのかさえわからないのですが。
Okay, so Jijo, I think Jijo will be like situation. Jijo. Circumstances or affairs. Situation. So I guess there was some situation that caused her to leave the house, and even now, そこにいらっしゃる, so where is she? Kasai wa. So if it's a wa, oh, kasai wakaranai. Okay. Oh, maybe it's not a word, but rather, where? No ka, and then sai waka. Maybe it's not its own word, but rather they are words, but it's not something you would find like that. I think these are separate words. Okay, that probably makes more sense. This is probably just regular sai. So if we search, even if only besides on top of that. Okay.
後継者の印って何なんですか？
どんなものかは存じませんが、ゆり様が持っておられるのでしょうか？
So again, he does not know what kind of thing it is, and it looks like probably Yuri has it.
いえ、これといって。
Okay. There must be something more. Maybe let's ask about the will again?
私にはちょっとわかりかねますが。
Okay, he doesn't know. Can we ask about Yuri again?
まさか、ゆり様のお名前が菊様の遺言書に書かれていたとは。
Okay.
いえ。
Okay, so what do we need to do to trigger the next section? Let's ask Kanji again. Okay, we need to do something.
親に迷惑ばかりかけおる。まったく出来の悪いせがれだ。
Alright, there we go. Oya ni meiwaku, so it's kind of like he's just a trouble or inconvenience to his parents. Mataku is like completely deki no warui. Okay, what's this? Segare? Segare? Son. Okay. Punk. I guess punk is probably the way you would be saying. It does not seem to be having a good image of his son. Okay. Alright, so I only know because of the last time I played through here, but there has to be something to trigger to talk about Akira more. Okay, let's call Zen Soul again.
Hi.
Let's ask about Akira.
善蔵さん、
Zen Soul.
何か言いたげだけど、どうしたんだ？答えづらい理由でもあるんだろうか。
Okay, so Nanika is something ita. Okay, So this is going to be itai. So itai, he wants to say something. Dakedo, but what's wrong? Kotai is answer. Zurai is kind of like suffering sort of thing. So painful to answer. So, and then Ryu is reason. So it looks like he has some reason that he cannot answer or makes it difficult to answer. This is a tricky thing with this game is you have to figure out how to trigger the event.
なんだね。
Okay, that didn't help. Right.
綾代商事はわしと次郎に任せておけばいいんだ。二人で会長の意志を継いでゆく覚悟だ。
Yes, I guess he's just saying they're prepared to run the company. I really don't know what I need to do. Oh wait, can I, if I look at Sensol, that trigger it?
何か僕にだけ伝えたいことがあるんだろうか。
Nanika. Okay, so he looks like he wants to convey something. Stairu would be to convey. So staitai is want to convey. Yay, finally! Alright. Let's go. Kiku's room.
全蔵さん、キクさんの寝室で確認したいことがあるんです。
Okay, so we're saying there is something in Kiku's room that we want to confirm.
ではわしはもういいのか？
Then, are you done with me, basically? His way of saying, like, am I good to go?
すみません。確認した後でお聞きしたいことがあるので、お待ちいただけますか？
So kind of like, sorry, but after I check something, I want to ask you something more. Please wait for me.
なんだと？まったく探偵とは自分勝手なものだな。
Okay, so it's like completely kind of like the detective is just selfishly doing things as he wants, like on his own.
Zenzo さん、もしかして僕に伝えたいことがあるのでは？あの場では言いづらい何かが。
Okay, so basically we're just saying what we had observed.
さすがでございますね。お見通しでしたか。
So kind of like as expected, omitoshi, so like as you saw. Alright, I think we've done this for quite a long time already, so I'm going to stop it here for today. Thank you, and I hope you'll join in next time, and we figure out what Zenso wants to say. Alright, see ya, bye.